Hello everyone, this is Grantham, welcome back to the channel. Today we got a little bit of thunderstorms outside of Tirana in a Balkan state yet again. I'm going to be flying along the coast up north to Split Saint Jerome Airport in Trogir, or just about located near it. Very looking forward to the flight. Unfortunately it's not as good weather as I was expecting it to be. But, you know, it is what it is, isn't it? And flight simulators will be flight simulators. So I hope you all enjoy the Beechcraft Baron 5.8 streams. Not just streams, but the flights as well, because I find them very enjoyable. And I want you to enjoy them as well. This is what we're having here. We're having fun. I'm going to make sure we continue to have fun. Yeah, so Tirana Airport is also known as International Airport. And then it's got a strange pronunciation, something Tereza. LATI for the ICAO, and then LDSP for the arrival ICAO as well. We're going to go ahead and download our flight plan, and we're going to get in the aircraft and do a checklist. We are doing a full checklist flight again, just because we're in severe weather conditions. We can't really skip it, and once you get to the point where you're used to it, yeah, it sort of becomes second nature really. Even if you don't have the checklist in hand, you'll do the checklist items. So as you can see here, it's quite bad rain, and in the background we have some thunderstorms there. So the aircraft itself may or may not be capable of tolerating this weather. As you can see, we've got to fly up north all the way up here, where there's more severe sort of thunderstorms building up. But yeah, winds are looking steady though for this kind of weather, so we're going to hop on in the aircraft. And let's get started, guys. Let's get our flight plan and things downloaded. LATI LDSP. Yeah, one more thing, guys. Just before we get properly into the flight, was because the updates to the X-Plane 12 have been a little bit more than I expected. I've been picking up on a few more. I'm just noticing them and just failing to mention them because I've just been, you know, enjoying them. But another one big of the, excuse me, big. Give me a second, guys. Just typing my code in. Yeah, another one of the things that's changed is that you can no longer choose between an appropriate airport and all. When you type the airport in, it will, or whenever you choose your airport, you can only choose the airport and you can't choose a suitable airport. So they've either changed it to make it all suitable for the all aircraft, or they've changed it to make it suitable for the aircraft it's suitable for, but I don't think that's the case. I think they've just made it available for every aircraft, which is great. So there's no two options down here when you click on an airport. Right. And of course we've got the weather radar today, which is going to be extremely useful. So let's go down, let's get the Q&H first. We're doing it a little bit backwards in the order. We're going to do it, in fact, let's do it before engine starts. We've got the tax hops time, we've got the parking brake is, in fact it wasn't set, so let's set that. Clear up this screen just a little bit because it's a little bit dirty with all this stuff on it. Make sure all the switches are off. We're going to leave the prop sync on. Beacon light should really be on, but I'm going to turn it off. Panel light should also be off. Let's turn the prop sync off as well, and then just make sure everything is off. Seatbelts are secured, the doors are shut, gear selector is down, flaps are up, cow flaps are open, fuel selectors are off, prop should be full back, full forward, well, full back before starting, then full forward prior to starting. Left avionics good, the circuit breakers are all in and secured. Okay, now we get the prop sync on. Alternators and battery switch. Bus voltage is looking pretty good actually. Good bus voltage. Anti-collision, so beacon and navigation lights. Gear lights are green, 3 green lights, and high RPM on the propellers. Right, so that's the before battery starting procedure. Next will be the cold start, but we'll do the payload and the flight plan first. So please guys, get locked in and settle in for the flight. Hold on one sec. We've got a problem here with the flight plan, not been downloaded, has it? Yeah, it's downloaded but not moved into the correct file folder. So move it to X-Plane 12. Go down to outputs. FMS plans should be available, and then just copy and paste it into that. As you can see, it's now coming up on the system. Thank God we don't have to reload the game for that to happen. And I'm going to check the departures and things and use the charts because we need to make sure we fly properly. Going back to the weight and balance. Jet fuel 110, 199, about 210 block fuel. We have 275, so we have enough fuel in. And we want payload as well. As you can see, there's the departure. We have a SID, and we do in fact have a star as well because these are quite big airports. Only 3 passengers on board estimated. That's very odd. Usually we have at least 4 or 5 people on board. Oh well, it is what it is. We got, I guess that's 1 pilot and 2 passengers. Not very popular route for people to fly then, is it? Let's just stick them in the back. Payload 313, so that would include the baggage and cargo, which is at 75 kg. How are we going to halve that? Maybe 35 in each, possibly, or 40 in the fore cargo and 35 in the back. Something like that. And as you can see, we're still not the estimated weight, so again, how do we get to that amount of weight if we've only got 2-3 people on board? Because if you increase the pilot's weight, I guess it wants us to make the pilot a little bit heavier. It wants us to make him about 90 kg, which is quite a lot. Anyway, let's go back. Let's get that flight plan checked. Runway 17 for the inlot 2 Romeo departure. There's the inlot 2 Romeo departure. Arriving runway 23. 23 is not programmed in, but the SIPAL inlot departure is on there, but SIPAL's not there for the arrival, so let's go ahead and do that. SIPAL 2 Juliet. Might be loaded and I may not have seen it, so let's double check the flight plan. Same thing again there, SIPAL, brilliant, right below inlet, so straight from the departure into the arrival. Runway 23. And we can again choose that for the approach. We don't have to choose the exact approach, but we can put one here when we go a bit closer actually. Let's do that. Right, cruising altitude today I think is a little bit higher. We've actually got higher altitude, 6,000 feet, even though we're at light load. So, yeah, I like to put it in here as a reference. There is no vertical navigation, of course, in the aircraft, unless somebody's found one, unless you can in fact use this. But also, this button here is permanently pushed in. Yeah, so I don't know how I feel about that. How do I get that popped out again? That's kind of annoying, isn't it? Gonna cost us. Let's just take a look at the weather radar. Let's put it on to test and then to on. Check what's going on in the weather conditions. Get rid of our charts, and we could probably tune the ATC if there's some available. Okay, I think I've connected. So weather radar is not doing anything on the test. Let's turn it on. Gone off. If we look down at the voltage, we are actually running out of voltage by using that, so that's why it's gone off. Yeah, so the battery's running out, guys. Let's get it started. Let's turn the avionics off. Let's go through the checklist. Mixture control is coming up to full rich. I'm going to make sure. Strange, because the fuel controls are meant to be in the on position, of course. Meant to be off prior to getting in the aircraft. Cold starts, throttles fully opened, boost pumps. Notice we haven't really turned any panel switches on just yet, other than the lights outside. There's peak flow anyway. Bear down to idle. Number 1. Number 2 engine coming alive. going to be interesting, isn't it? I wonder if we should have got a pushback rather than an engine start. Yeah, but we may as well use that pushback. That's what it's there for. There has been an update, and I still haven't downloaded it yet. So yeah, that's kind of what we're working with. We only have one other aircraft here. Well, runway 17 is down there, so we taxi down Whiskey, and then Foxtrot to runway 217. DHL just over there on the right hand side. Can't quite see him. Now, I have done pushback in this little plane before, and believe it or not, it actually does work to some extent. Anyway, avionics are coming back on. Could probably put the weather radar now back on, and it'll turn on, as you can see. Now we've got enough power in the system for it. So, avionics on, environmental was required. ATIS information was checked before. We have a 1011 today, which is not too bad considering how much rough weather we got ahead of us, and hopefully the Baron can handle it. It handled it last time pretty well, although then again it was only clouds and rain. Transponder to standby, and of course we put the mixtures, the fuel control to crossfeed, and now look at that, guys, it's moving in, it's moving over the airport, so we have to get going pretty quick. This is probably one of the slower departures in this aircraft recently. Anyway, crossfeed on the fuel, and also part of the update, yes, again another feature, let's get the lights on. But another feature that I failed to notice and mention was the clock. The clock has finally been changed to show the actual local time, so that's GMT time in the UK. Started a little bit late today, so apologies for that. But it actually now shows the real time. So when you click local time, it will now be the correct time ahead or behind of the UK, which I think is great. So they updated the clock, and it just makes all the difference in the world, doesn't it? So it's 3:30 there, about an hour ahead. Unless it hasn't changed and I'm just mixing things up. Anyway, we're going to get a little clearance in a sec via the Honeycomb. I was going to do a pushback, we may as well just do a turnaround here and pull back onto the taxiway. Let's get our taxi lights on. Not quite sure the pronunciation again, it's a strange one. Tirana is as good as I can say, so Nënë, Tereza, Tirana. Right, that would be fine. Tirana traffic, November 058 Sierra Bravo is going to be taxiing to runway 17 via Whiskey and Foxtrot, holding short runway 17. Let's get going. Parking brake released. Ah, of course, the rudder control, the silly rudder control. As I say, guys, don't ever use another controller that plugs in, because then it just balls up your whole system that you have with your flight gear. It's a real pain in the ass to do that. As you can see, we're constantly having to go back on and sign these different axes, even though it's been, I told it to ignore it. They still haven't fixed that. And then, only then, once you've added it and ignored it, will it actually work. I hope the aircraft isn't too loud for you all. Welcome in, by the way. Our episode, I think this is number 4 now, number 4 or 5 on the Balkan adventure. Let's get the flight director on, and we're going to do a G button nice and early. Probably no need to just yet though. Test the yaw damper. It's working fine. Test the brakes. Brakes are working fine as well. Again, there are a lot of new airports on this route where I've never flown. This is one of them. 100%. 100% one of the areas. So there he is. I'm assuming he's not in the MD-80. Oh, you can hear that, guys. The thunderstorms in the background. Right, we should probably get our pizza heats on things before departure. It's still about 20 degrees outside though. Oh god, I'm a little bit frightened, I'm not gonna lie. I've done this in things like Citation X, but not a Beechcraft Baron. It's only a small plane after all. Yes, look at this. Brutal. There he is, the A320, I'm assuming. Parked in between another A320. Let's set the course to 128. Keep our head in mode to the runway. Runway 17 for departure. There's the wind sucks, there's a slight headwind there coming into the airport. This is why we're going up to 6,000 feet, I suspect, because we have some mountains around us in the area. Quite high up as well by the look of it. Just hope we can see through the cloud. Obviously we're not going to see through the clouds, I just hope we see the mountains through them possibly. And yeah, a lot of high terrain here as you can see. So let's hold short, let's do a quick engine run up. I'm going to turn the taxi lights off for this one. Cool, so fuel selectors are going to come on. This is worrying, guys. This is very worrying. There's no checklist item for weather radar, so that's probably not a usual item in this kind of aircraft. Anyway, fuel selectors. On. Fuel boost pumps are off. Engine instruments were pretty fine then, and so flight instruments, mixture's rich, props are fully forward. Throttles go forward to 1500 RPM. We have to be careful because it's wet, we won't be able to do, probably won't be able to get up to 2200 on the run up. Okay, load meters alternator down there. It was alternator load is fine. Instrument air pressure was good. Not really any proper way to check it other than, oh, there is here, excuse me, the gyro pressure. Maybe that's gyro pressure, not instruments, isn't it? There's not really that many indications in the cockpit of systems. Do a quick feather check. About 300 RPM, so pull them right back. And same for the second engine. little bit more than 300, but that's about as best as we can do. And then 1700 RPM for this magneto. An alternator check. As you can see there. Magneto's on the left hand side. It's supposed to only allow a max of check max drop of 150 RPM, but it doesn't even get close to 50 RPM. And it's barely dropping 50 RPM, so I guess that's a good thing. Anyway, left engine seems pretty good. Let's do the right. Again, same thing. They don't really have magneto issues on this kind of plane. I've never had them. In fact, it's very rare you get failures anyway, even if you set them on a regular basis. Anyway, this magneto's checked. Now we've got to do the alternators. So I'm going to do the old on and off system. So left on, off. Check the alternator low down here rising, which it is. And we do the same on the right side. As you can see, the left one will rise and then we turn it back on. Okay, quick pitot heat check. We're going to need this one for departure. We're probably going to need all our anti-ice on actually at this point before we go. Anti-ice is good, pitot heats are good. Throttles, let's see if they can do 2200 RPM without slipping off the brakes. Okay, just about. It kind of looks like it's going to move a little bit. Autopilot trim, so let's check that. Very good, pretty much always working. And the flight controls after we've done a RPM drop, propeller exercise 200 RPM. Okay, good. The RPM drop's successful. Let's idle the engine. Check for any dead running, and then we'll check the flight controls and line up. Dead running's fine as well. Okay, ailerons. Elevators. Up on the left, down on the left. Same thing on that side, up and down on the correct side. Let's turn our radar on. Test it first, then we'll turn it on. And it should automatically change to WXA when we're in the air. Okay, so it's working. We're going to have 0 flaps for takeoff. We're going to do appropriate airspeed of about 84 today, maybe 85 knots. Best glide has been calculated. We're going to pitch for the blue line, depending on if there's not the blue line. We're going to pitch, blue line if there's an engine failure or something like that. Anti-collision lights are on, beacon light is on, landing lights and strobe lights are coming on. Mixture's full rich, your damper is off, power flaps are open, anti-ice. Let's get the pitot heats on and all the anti-ice on now before we get in the air. Including the windshield and prop heat, and I won't do the surface heat until we're airborne, probably 6,000 feet or something. Just looking through the chat list, there's only anti-collision lights on the list, but we already turned those on. So I'm assuming that's because there's no strobe light indication on this, which tells me, to be honest, we're probably not going to need it because we're going through a little bit of fog and haze, and not fog and haze but cloud, and we're not allowed to use them, so we're going to turn them off for this departure, which sounds strange, but because we're going to be in the clouds so quick. Alright, let's line up and depart runway 17. Tirana traffic, November 058 Sierra Bravo, departing runway 17. Transponder to test. An altitude, this is going to be a real test for the piloting skills guys. A real test in this kind of weather. Fuel boost pumps are coming on. Strange taxi line near here, isn't it? There's a few taxi lines going all over. That's probably for the aircraft coming off. Let's just hold a little bit before we go. Check the checklist once again. So, before takeoff, checklist is complete. Best glide is calculated. Takeoff times are recorded. Departing at 20 to 4 in the afternoon. Rotate. Positive rate climb, gear coming up. Gonna pitch down pretty early today for about 120 nice and early, just to build up some sufficient speed here to push through. We're gonna keep our pitos on, and we're gonna keep our anti-ice on as well until we're clear of the entire region. Even though it's not that cold outside, we're going through icy conditions in these thunderstorm clouds. Anyway, let's take navigation guidance on. Let's follow the departure and climb up to 6,000 feet. Cow flaps are coming to closed. Yaw damper's coming on. Prop is coming back to about 2500 RPM. Yeah, it is bumpy, guys. Struggling a little bit. Feel it struggling a little bit on the climb. Yes, well off course on that runway, aren't we? Beautiful place though, Tirana. Just a shame we can't really see it. Let's get the autopilot on at vertical speed. I'm going to pitch to maintain about 120, as I say. We haven't used flaps for takeoff. We're going to turn our landing lights off. We're already at 3,000 feet as well. Fuel boost off. Fuel flow is good. And taxi and landing lights have come off. So that's the climb checklist complete. And next we'll complete the cruise checklist. This is departure, guys, and it'll take us back. Probably because of the mountains on the side, it's given us this pretty narrow way to go, so yeah. Prevent us colliding from the mountains, won't it? Struggling to maintain speed though, we're going pitching down, but it's still not building up. Okay, I think when we fly along the coast here, we're obviously going to be clear of terrain, aren't we? The trains on the inner land of Croatia and things like that. Should be up north. You can already see Dubrovnik, which was another place I was going to go with Dubrovnik, but I chose Trogir instead. It's just a little bit less known, isn't it? We're on the traffic, November 058 Sierra Bravo, climbing 6,000 feet, the end lot 2 Romeo departure. Our speed can build up now a little bit more to about 140, which is normal. We're going to set our course right round to the heading we're going to be heading in, and we're going to start to slow our ascent rate as well. So we're going to be using full manifold pressure today's flight and a RPM of about 2300 with 23 gallons per hour of fuel. Let's go ahead and do the mixtures now. Let's pull them back to 2300 gallons per hour. Leveling off in a turn, not the best thing to do. Not practical, is it? Anyway, there's 6,000 feet. Going to be able to fly once more over Tirana, and then we're going up to Croatia. Right, let's just double check the transition level for the airport. At 10,000 feet, so we're still within the region's pressure setting, although we could set it to standard. Right, 2300 RPM is coming to on the propellers. Be super accurate today on these propeller readings, and of course manifold pressure remains full, so that's the cruise settings. Fuel boost pumps as required. We don't really need them because we already have sufficient fuel flow. Cowl flaps are closed to prevent CHT icing and cooling, which we don't want. Heading indication as required. Right guys, I'm going to tune the arrival already, so we want to get the L2 Juliet arrival. What runway is that? What airport? LDSP L2 Juliet. Whoa, same pressure region as us, so let's see the arrival. Runway 23 today. Looks like we've got the RNAV, or we got a visual approach, so there's no ILS system there. There's the L2 Juliet arrival there from Schiphol, so we need to tune these in now, or preferably soon, because we want to be able to track them on the DME tracker down here. And then of course with the radio, there doesn't seem to be any frequency there that I can see for the Schiphol arrival. And it is an RNAV approach after all, so there won't be any DME frequency available. Heading of 296 and 295 at about 8,000 feet or below, and then 4,000 feet, or excuse me, 8,000 feet, 4,000 feet, so quite a steep arrival there, and then into the airport. Okay, they do have a strange arrival. Is I thought they wouldn't have an ILS with those kind of arrivals, but it turns out they do, but they also have visual arrivals. And then we're going to do probably the RNAV today in the Baron. So as you can see, we come down. - 4,000 feet. Runway 23. Just seems a little bit strange looking at the chart afterwards. Anyway, that's probably where we'll join at Avuga, and then we'll go round to final. Maximum 185 knots. That shouldn't be a problem in the Baron maintaining that. Cool. Yeah, so we're going to go down, round, and then probably around and then up again like that. Anyway, let's sit back, relax, and enjoy the flights. Baron is struggling with this big time. It's bouncing all over the place. Turbulence is pretty severe. I wonder if we should ascend or descend. Problem is, if we descend, we've got mountains ahead of us as well, which I keep looking out for. The question is, where are the mountain peaks? Because we haven't got a chart that tells us where or how. Transition level is 10,000 feet. Maybe we're better off climbing up to 9,000 feet. There's no ATC. We can clear ourselves, although if there was ATC, I'd probably ask them for clearance. Yeah, so we're going to have to deal with that, guys. I don't feel comfortable being at this altitude, or if we go higher again, we've got the risk of more severe weather as we climb through the clouds as well. And we've got a severe patch coming up as well, which is actually worse than where we departed. We're going to be flying right through. It is green and light blue, but it'll still be a problem. That's a lot of icing conditions. Just about to pass the border as well. Let's keep going in this altitude and see what happens. I don't feel comfortable not being able to see it, but we'll have to make do with it. It's giving us red on the train as well. 6,000 feet. Adriatic coast, traffic November 058 Sierra Bravo, climbing to flight level 090. Let's go ahead and climb, guys. Try and break the clouds at the same time, hopefully. Just as we come through the clouds, we were climbing. But yes, there is terrain here, and we're a little bit too close for my liking. So let's get up and out of it before it gets any worse. 6,000 feet was given us to us by Simbridge, but I've actually been given altitudes on Simbridge before, which have been dangerous heights to fly at because of the terrain. Put the mixtures full forward for this climb. We'll keep the props 2500 as well. Probably don't have to do that. You can probably give them the 2300 and it'll be fine. Let's change our course. Yeah, it's pretty severe, this is. Pretty severe. God, look at that lightning. That's insane. It looks like it's turning from rain to snow. It looks like it's turned from rain to snow and a little bit of ice in there, just to potentially kill us all. Thank God there's only 3 people on board today, which was, I thought it was strange there was only 3 people, but look at the weather conditions. No wonder why, is it? Nobody wants to fly in this kind of weather. Right, we're at 9,000. We're kind of going over it. We'll go to 9,500 feet. Just because we're past it now, and we'll level off there. And then that way you can just fuel flow per recommendations at least. It's going to be a joy to fly this thing in the snow, I tell you guys. I'm so excited to do the winter flights. There's 9,500. We'll level off with the autopilot again. I would not hand fly in this condition unless I was certain of the terrain in the area, but I'm brand new to the area, so yeah, pretty severe. We've got a carrier there off to our left over the waters. We should be hopefully passing over there. Oh wow, some of the Croatian landscape is appearing now. So we have Mostar, and I believe the place we're going is not Dubrovnik. I think we're going a little bit further up to Trogir. Okay, we're leveled off. Let's do the adjustment. So 9,500 feet, 16.5 gallons per hour. Let's bring the mixtures back. RPM remains at 2,500 for 9,500 feet. So just a 3,000 feet difference, and you increase it by 200 RPM, which is interesting. Yeah, the SP actually has other traffic at it, and it's straight over the water, I think, at this point. Over a little bit of land and then straight over the water into the arrival. The airport we departed from only had one airplane there. There was now another one there waiting to go. LATI was in fact called Tirana International Airport, Mother Tereza Airport basically, in Albania. So that's what it is. That's the route today, guys. Albania to Croatia. Very interesting. Oh, we're finally out of it. We can actually see the light of day again. And what a beautiful day it is in Croatia. Look at that. Wow. The mixture of the orange and the yellow and the blue is just so magical, isn't it? We all love flight simulators when they work and they look good. Anyways, we're passing over shortly a little airport just ahead of us. I don't know what that is. It's Croatian territory? I suspect it is, isn't it? So that's... Oh, it is Dubrovnik Airport we're flying over, which is quite unpopular it seems. There's nobody at it. Let's just get a higher up view here. Let's see if that helps. Yes, absolutely nobody down there at Dubrovnik. I suppose we have an alternate airport if we need one. Yes, look at this, guys. Amazing. I want them to add in the next game, or in this game if you want to update it still, is just continue to add to the weather system, although they did spend a year doing it. I think it's great. You could add some more features though, like the cloud layering's good, I like that. You know, different kind of weather between the clouds. Maybe some ATC options as well regarding the weather would be nice. Potentially something like the weather severe, you know, weather caution, etc. I don't know if they do that already. I haven't had any default ATC tell me there's any weather condition problems. Picking up on the middle mark at the Ep4 airport, I didn't even realise we were tuned in. I tuned into that NDB or the approach. Very odd. Well, we passed once again back into the clouds. Nice to pass through the clear clouds there in Dubrovnik. And by the way, I think I keep saying Turgu or something. It's Trogir. I can't remember what I was saying. I don't think I said it right, but Trogir is the airport. Links airport up here. I think there it is. Yes. Let's tune this into nav 2. Let's do the ILS. Not got the ILS, of course. Got the RNAV runway 23. Yeah, a little small airport. That's as close to Trogir as we can get, and Trogir NDB is available. Trogir, the town itself, is just off from the airport, just over here. Nice little place to visit. And there's an airport there as well called Breck, just on a small little island. So yeah, that's about the distance we have left to go, guys. Let's given me an estimated flight time of 17-18 minutes. So there's the arrival, and when we get onto the arrival, I'll program the approach in. So far, though, we've had a headwind, and then we've sort of gone into we've gone into a headwind after a long tailwind. So wind directions changed south, southeast. So it's going to be a crosswind landing as well, which makes it all the more enjoyable. Cool. Let's go down here. Let's tune the N2 on and keep track of our distance. That gives us the proper speed there of 195, so we're a little bit slower than we want to be. It's about to Juliet arrival, down to 8,000 feet. Excuse me, 6,000 feet, because we're meant to be at 6,000 feet throughout the entire flight, people. Or ladies and gentlemen, welcome in. By the way, I hope you're all enjoying this series on the Balkan adventures. I hope you're all enjoying the videos I've been uploading. of other games. That's kind of what I want to do as well, because I wasn't really uploading videos, there's just streams, and I want to get back in some new aircraft, because we've flown pretty much the same aircraft. It's nice to have variety, but of course you do too many aircraft and you end up, yeah, it just becomes overwhelming. Autopilots coming up for some reason. Yeah, so the new series, the Workers and Resources, is a nice little series that I'm doing. I hope you're all enjoying that, because YouTube doesn't want to push things out unless it's unless it's a 10-second video with absolutely no content for the brain dead ones, you know. Like a brain, like the shorts. Unfortunately, I have started doing shorts though, so I guess if you want to watch some highlights from some of the streams, you can always go on there.
This is a normal...
Well, it's cleared up now, unless the Radar's broken, everything's looking pretty clear, there's no red things popping up on it at all. Let's just test it, make sure it is in fact still functioning. It's pretty good. Nothing popping up in it, even on the map side of things, so we must be truly over the water now in Croatia. Flying along the Adriatic coast. 7 minutes to go. I can confirm that here, about 20 minutes total time. So it's a long flight today. I apologise if you were expecting a shorter one, but it it is what it is. We take our time and enjoy ourselves. So we tune the ADF in. We're going to
traffic lines 443 established on the ILS for runway 118 knots.
Well, there's some traffic in the vicinity. That's nice. We got ATC and no idea. So yeah, just off to the right there's Zagreb. Mostar, sorry. Where did I just see Zagreb then? No idea. Anyway, we've gone past Dubrovnik. Zagreb will probably be further up if we see it at all. We're going to track the navigation too, and hopefully the ADF will come online soon as well when we're within a 10 nautical mile range. 10 to 15 nautical miles. Beautiful, let's get descending down back to our original height of 6,000 feet. Not sure what traffic we call out at this point. I mean, you've got a lot of traffic there. Looks like maybe an A380 or a 747 coming into land. Dubrovnik, which was dead before, nobody in it at all. Saint Jerome traffic, we'll just call that out. I mean, look at it down there, guys. Wow. Thank God we went up to 6,000 feet. Sorry, 9,000 feet. Trogir traffic, November 0580 Bravo, descending down to 6,000 feet. Saying a lot of unnecessary words lately in AC, just need to say descending. No need to say any other extra words in there. So let's get going down to 6,000. Let's pull our props back to about 2100 RPM. Just allow a quicker descent rate. I'm going to increase the fuel flow. Fully forward. And then when we get down to 6.5 hours, we'll pull it back to 23 gallons per hour, and we'll put the RPM onto 2300 with maximum manifold pressure. Anti-ice is good. We've not had the anti-icing conditions so far, although we've flown through them, we haven't picked anything up. We're now coming down to clear. It's still minus, so we'll keep them on for now. We can leave these surface heats off. We can probably turn propeller these off when we get to 6,000 feet. Whoa, look at that contrast, guys. Anyway, there's the side of Croatia, but look at the rivers running through, amazing. Yeah, just turned from the captain's side to the co-pilot. Nice and bright on the captain, but then on the co-pilot you got all these dark thunderstorm clouds. Weather's actually cleared up considerably now, so we'll be arriving in hopefully VFR conditions. Let's bring our propellers fully back down to 1500. So this is where we're going to be coming in for the arrival, as pointed out earlier, down the Sipple to Juliet arrival. According to the chart anyway. Sipple to Juliet arrival, runway 23, then we'll go round and then round for the approach. So we know we need to be at 6,000 feet on the approach, and then we'll go down to 4,000 for Vuga, and then we'll come in. Let me just show you what it's going to be. See the RNAV? Okay, RNAV visual, or you have an RNAV visual, that's it. Not many available there. Yeah, so we're doing a visual RNAV. I didn't really want to do that, but that'll do. As you can see, down to Avuga and 4,000 feet, and then we're going to descend down to 3,000 for the approach. Straight into the airport. Split Saint Jerome Airport, of course, in Croatia. What an amazing country this is. Right in the Adriatic Sea with such scenic views as this. Okay, let's bring our props fully to 2300 RPM. Let's just lean our mixture for 23 gallons per hour. Roughly there, can't get it quite on quite accurate. Let's turn our prop heat and windshield heat off, and our pitot heat as well. It is pretty cold, but it's above 0 now. Leave the stall warning heat on, just in case. Trogir traffic, November 058 Sierra Bravo, descending 6,000 feet. The SIP L2 Juliet arrival. Oh, probably good to just say that, I think. Don't need to say anything else. Okay, we're on the SIPL arrival, Juliet arrival, to Juliet arrival. We're going to descend down to 4,000 feet when we get to Iruga, wherever it was, Aluga. A lot of strange names, isn't there? In that case, we can see our approach already into the, whoa, the airport approach is looking crazy, look at that. Maybe we're better off doing a different kind of procedure, so let's go for the approach. The RNAV was what came up, and that's what we chose. RNAV Yankee, RMP actually, not the RNAV, so there's no RNAV coming up on here. Although there is an RNAV approach, which is what we were hoping to get. So it looks like it's going to be... Yeah, I mean, there's no other approach available, there's just the RMP, the RNAV one has gone. That's insane. Because there's the Avuga. Unless that means the RNAV approach and it's a little bit different. Let's activate that and fly direct. It seems to be giving us a little bit of a circle and a square there. And that should get us on track. Okay, let's get the ATIS information. So this is the inbound or in-range chat list now. 1011, so it's pretty much the same as when we departed, which is ideal. Altimeter, so we set the altimeter. The ice protection is now all come off. Hopefully we don't encounter anything before we land, although we shouldn't. Cowl flaps will remain closed. The mixture is going to come full rich when we get a bit closer. Fuel selectors run, fuel boost pumps are off. Landing lights are off as well, but they'll come on, and the seatbelts are fastened and secured. So there's the Avuga arrival. Coming round to runway 23. Now, I'm assuming it's going to, because it seems to be going back in a circle and then round to 23, so I'm assuming, yeah, it's a strange one, this. Never done something like this before. Down to 6,000 feet. Excuse me, down to 4,000 feet for the arrival. Whoa, look at that airport. Right on the edge of a mountain. And look at that road. That's insane. Imagine driving along that. Yeah, but if you come down here, you could crash into the mountain as well. I mean, that's a pretty good airport. Maybe we should have flown there. Looks like an interesting approach, but it's Trogir for us. That airport off to our right, by the way, is on a small island, and it's called Humak. Brack, in other words, the airport. So yeah, that's actually a small little island there, so that explains why it's so steep. I mean, look at that road, guys. Probably not a real road after all. It's explains well scenery. Airspeed is a little bit fast. Let's just pull this manifold pressure back a little bit. Tune that into navigation 1. We don't have an ILS on runway 23, so conflict information here between the computer, the map, and the chart. Some say it does when it doesn't. Some say it does when it doesn't when it does. So it's all over the place with this information. Even the aircraft's speed on there is incorrect because the probably because of the wind or something, or maybe even because of the ice. Let's keep that pitot on just a little bit longer. Level off here at 4,000. So this is the strange arrival it's given us to Ivuga. That would actually be runway 05 if we came in that way, so that's why I'm thinking we may be doing a U-turn at some point and then going back round to runway 23. I can't see how we're going to get from Ivuga down to... unless it's expecting me to do a manual approach. I have activated the arrival procedures, so Ivuga. Just taking us to the hold. I don't think it's actually going to take us to final, which is a bit of a pain. Even if we select runway 23, it's not going to do it. So yeah, Ivuga, and then it's a hand-flown thing down the RNAV to runway 23. Again, the charts are a little bit different. A little bit different to what we would expect. Well, yeah, down here, and then obviously we're going to have to take control before we get to this point, and then we're going to do that left-hand turn onto the runway. Quite a dangerous approach if you think about it. I mean, we're surrounded by these little mountains and things. We are descending below 4,000 feet. I'm going to go down to 3,000 feet, even though we should be at 4 by Ivuga. That's fine. Nobody's here to tell us off. And then of course round hand flow, and then if we need to go around, visual go around of course. Minimum altitude 3,000, maximum speed of 210, so we'll do that and we'll go back to the Idnum and then back to Lasso. Yeah, very different airport, different kind of approach. Okay, let's level off at 3,000 feet. Get our landing lights on when we get onto the Ivuga. As you can see there's no arrival for the airport. It's all hand flown before that point. Right, landing lights coming on. Let's turn the pitot heats off. Let's bring the manifold pressure back to about 2200 R on the manifold. We're going to bring the props mixtures fully rich. Engine temperatures are good, fuel selectors are on, fuel pumps are off. Props are going to go fully forward. Going to do it nice and early. Well, not fully forward, it's 2500, and then we'll push them full forward on base. And we'll turn the Leo damper and autopilots off. Temperature's picking up now, we're over 10 degrees, that's reassuring at least. The speed indication on here is a little bit off. That could again indicate ice, so we're going to go ahead and just leave it on anyway. It's 772, but we're obviously going about 180. Keep an eye out for the airports, it's all visual after this point, or semi-visual. I think that's the airport down there. That's good. We can see it. Local time is about 10 to 5 according to the clock. Like I say, we just seen the airport over here somewhere. I think it's those satellites there, so that's going to help us get a better view of it. Yeah, so as long as we've got the airport 100% established in our visual contact, we can start to prepare even more. So let's get the props full forward, nice and early. We're going to keep the manifold pressure where it is, so we're going to turn. How are we doing on fuel? We've still got a quarter tank left on each. CHG is pretty good. We've now got another centre online. I'll just check whether it's Adriatic C. I don't think it is. Unfortunately, we've not had any Adriatic ATC today. No, LIRR is in fact Rome ACC area control. Trogir Bay just off to our left. We're going over something called the Split Channel now. The airport itself is called Split. The channel is called Split Channel, and Salta Channel, Krashtalansky Zalyev. Straight ahead as well, just off to our left. Well, there's the right hand turn, which will take us back round. We technically need to follow this little route in here, which, as you can see, is giving us little waypoints to fly. So we're going to disengage the autopilot now. Autopilot disengaged, I have control. I'm going to continue flying the approach. Ourselves, we're at 3,000 feet, which is suitable for the approach height. As I say, it's giving us waypoints, but it won't line it out because it's a hand flow including, probably because of the mountains and the dangerous terrain in the area. Amazing little place though, Trogir. Look at this, we've got ships, we've got a nice little city or town there. The airport just off to our left. A really nice little place to come to if you're looking for a holiday to Croatia. Yeah, this is tucked away. It's probably not as popular as the others, but still pretty good. Landing lights are on. Mixtures of props are full forward. I'm going to turn the yaw damper off. Okay, let's start a slow turn by about 15-20 degrees, see how that goes. Well trimmed aircraft has been given from the autopilot, so thank you autopilot. Okay, that's about a good bank angle there for the approach. We'll start to slow down as well. Let's bring our manifold pressure back. Considerably faster than we need to be. As long as we can see the airport, again, that's probably the main thing. There's the airport, so we are probably going to be a little bit high. Let's slow right down. Probably need to get our flaps out. Combination of visual and map at the moment. I can see it, so we're going to bring this manifold right back. I forgot there's only 3 people on board. Probably going a little bit slower. Flaps to approach mode. Allow that speed to just burn off a little bit. There's the runway, so we're going to keep turning. Very difficult approach, guys. Trogir traffic, November 0580 Bravo, final runway 23. Gears coming down. Let's get full flaps. It's not as straight as I'd like it, but this is the approach it's telling me to fly, guys. It's telling me to come in at an angle. Keep that manifold high, we might drop like a stone otherwise. And also it helps prevent you from constantly putting pressure on the yoke. Beautiful, beautiful landing. This is super scenic. Flaps are coming back up. Wow, he's super crushed down. Love that little landing there. That's a really nice airport to land in. I'm going to come back here again in the future. Probably at the Baron as well. Maybe in a Cessna to get a bit more of the scenic adventure there. Very good. Let's take the turn off. We've opened the cow flaps. Retracted the flaps. Landing lights off. And the taxi lights on. Let's go ahead and just get off the runway and clear of it first before we get established where we're going to park. Let's go up to the hold line. Let's just hold short here. Let's just check the map. Yeah, very good. That's going to be a nice little replay to see. So I don't know where GA parking is. We're going to have to just make do, unless it's right down there. Oh no, it's just off to our right. Brilliant. Anyway, strobes are already off though because we didn't need them this flight. Nav transponder to stand by. We can turn the weather radar off at this point. Heat protection, ice protection is off. Let's get taxi into parking. Just shows you what the Baron is capable of. These small approaches, which apparently a 747 can do, but I have doubts. I have doubts, guys, that it can fly such an approach. Anyway, down Alpha Blue Line. A lot of cars waiting here as well to pick people up. And we're going to park down here because it's a bit quieter. Yeah, it's just here, will be fine. That's a nice little parking space, number 14. Brilliant. Parking brake is set. We're going to keep the manifold at about 1000 RPM there for idle. I'm going to turn all our lights off. We're going to leave the beacon on though. Avionics are going to come off. I'd say turn the transponder off as well, guys, before you turn the avionics off. Just an extra step to prevent it from causing issues, I guess. So transponder, avionics off, navigation panel, overhead switches coming off. Mixtures. Idle. Wait for the engines and then cut the fuel off. You can cut it off immediately, it's up to you. Leave the props fully forward. Magnetos. And alternators and battery. So it's as simple as that. Full checklist flight is complete. The engine shutdown checklist is complete. Post-flight is secured. We secured the aircraft using the chocks. And we're going to do a final walk around now, just to check the exterior of the plane. Nice little place, right next to the chocks there. A little bit off the centre line of the parking, but that's forgivable, I think. Yeah, nice little place to park because it had the cones and the chocks. But yeah, I really appreciate everyone being here. I liked this flight more because we went into the sunset. We went from really bad weather into great weather and had a beautiful sunset at the end. So thank you once again, and stick around for the replay or not. So take care, guys. Until next time, bye.